So about 3 years ago, I lined up here at this Best Buy to pick up my PlayStation 4 at the midnight launch. And today is November 10th, 2016, and I'm going to pick up my PlayStation 4 Pro. Unfortunately, they didn't do a midnight launch, so it's here on Thursday morning. So let's take a very quick tour around this box. You see PlayStation 4 Pro, a representation of the PlayStation itself, as well as the new DualShock 4. On the right side of the box, you have PlayStation 4 Pro, jet black, 1 terabyte. On the top of the box, pretty much the same, as you can see there, as well as the right side of the box. Well, actually, the right side of the box has a representation of what you get in here. So, let's get this open. So we have a very plain looking PS4 Pro box, and this is your corrugated cardboard here. So let's get this open and see what we have on the inside. First thing that pops out, documentation. Alright, up next we have a USB to micro USB cord. Headphones, power cord, the brand new DualShock 4, and then we have an HDMI cord, assumably HDMI 2.0 compatible. So we have one more piece of documentation in here, the best place to play. And the main event itself is the PlayStation 4 Pro here. So my first impression out of the gate is I really like the design of the PlayStation 4 Pro. I like the matte black, which they had moved to a couple of years back, or maybe at least a year ago. I really like the design of this, the PlayStation logo in here. It's kind of shiny in there, and it is embossed into the plastic here. So that is very stylish looking, I think. And then the front of the console here, we have, that 3-tiered effect. You have your 2 USB ports on the front here, you have your Blu-ray drive here, and then you have physical buttons here. So this is your eject, and then this is the power button over here. And of course it is still slot loading, a slot loading Blu-ray player. This is the side, the right side, or what could be the bottom of the console depending on how you have it situated. The rear of the console has your power port here, HDMI port here, the PlayStation camera port here, optical out here. You have a back-mounted USB port, which for those of us who have PlayStation VR, it's very welcome because now you can plug the PlayStation VR into the back of this. Then you have your Ethernet jack here. I haven't decided if I'm going to actually use an Ethernet jack. I have been using wireless up until this point. Now this would be the right side of the console or the top, depending on how you situate it. So pretty much just your 2 trenches here and everything. You have your venting, of course, in those 2 trenches. Then you have some branding in here, HDMI, Dolby DTS HD, Dolby True HD, and Blu-ray disc. Now the bottom of the console is here, or the side, depending, and you have the characteristic PlayStation buttons, the circle, square, X, and triangle. You have them all represented there, and they're actually the feet, and I think that's an excellent choice, the way they did that. And of course you do still have that PlayStation logo and that glossy plastic on the bottom, but again, if you situate it this way and stand it up on its side, that would be one of the sides of the console. For now, I'm going to be keeping it flat. So here we go, PlayStation 4 Pro and original PlayStation 4. And my original PlayStation 4 is a little bit dusty, but I think I cleaned most of it off. Some of that dust got onto the PlayStation 4 Pro. But anyway, the size difference is pretty visible. You can see that the PlayStation 4 Pro is a little bit larger than the original PlayStation, pretty much in every dimension. So it's a little taller by a very slight margin. It's a little deeper, probably by maybe a ½ inch or so. And it is also wider by maybe about a ½ to 3/4 of an inch. So it is a bigger, beefier console, and that is to be expected because it is the first generation of this newer, more powerful PlayStation 4 Pro. You can imagine over time this will shrink down. Unfortunately, the PlayStation VR components, the external box, the companion box that you get with the PlayStation 4 VR, is not incorporated into this. That would have been nice. Of course, a lot of people wished that the PlayStation 4 Pro would have a Ultra HD Blu-ray player in it. That is not the case. It's just a regular Blu-ray player. For me, that's just fine because, again, I don't have a 4K television set. But for those who do, I kind of understand where they're coming from. But you are getting the most powerful console on the market at the time of filming this video with the PlayStation 4 Pro. So that is the upside. And of course, whether you have a 1080p screen or a 4K screen, your visuals will be better with the PlayStation 4 Pro. Now, in case I missed it, PS4 is etched into the front of the console there. And apparently back here is the hard drive bay. And that's where it has this little piece of plastic over it. So upon first look, it looks like you remove this piece here, and then there's a screw here, which you would undo, and I would imagine the entire caddy will come out, and then you can remove your 1 terabyte hard drive, which I might be doing in a future video. I'm going to keep that sticker on there for right now. So here's the DualShock 4 that came with my original PlayStation 4. Here's the DualShock 4 that came with the PlayStation 4 Pro. Now at first glance, they look pretty much identical. But of course the difference here is that there is a little window there that we can't see, but there's a little bit of transparency on the touchpad here, up top here where this light will shine through the top. And so that's going to give players an indication of a couple of things. On some games, you have this light that changes color depending on your health, so you can just glance down and see that. Of course, if you're playing multiplayer games, you also have the ability to see which player you are, I believe, on some games. But other than that, I mean, it feels like a regular DualShock 4 and looks identical to a regular DualShock 4. So at first glance, maybe the buttons, maybe the triggers here are a little more gray than the original ones. So this is more of a gray tone and this is more of a black tone. But at first glance, I really can't see any difference between the way they look. Again, this might be, the D-pad over here might be a little more gray, and this might be a little more black. And the buttons as well. Buttons are a little more gray. So really, color is the only difference. The touchpads look the same. Obviously they're not, because you do have that transparency up here, which we can't tell right now. But that is the brand new DualShock. So there we go, the brand new PlayStation 4 Pro. And that's going to do it for this video. So if you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. If you like what you see, please subscribe. And as always, if you want to help out this channel, you can give me a thumbs up, you can favorite this video, you can share this video on your favorite social media, or you could leave me a tip on my YouTube page, or you could actually join my Patreon, all of which is greatly appreciated. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.